Here I am outside the Staples Center here in LA, home of SummerSlam 2014. To subscribe to the channel, click my face.
One, two, three.
What an up and down year for you. An incredible build up to WrestleMania, an incredible night. I imagine the highlight of your professional career at WrestleMania 30, and then the injury and what have you afterwards. How are you, basically?
I do good. You know, like I'm a pretty positive person. So I mean, it's I actually feel very thankful that 15 years. This is my first major surgery, and this is the first time that I've really had to be out this amount of time from wrestling. So it's also given me a chance to kind of gain some perspective on life and wrestling and all that kind of stuff. So it's been good.
So are you sort of enjoying a bit of time away, or are you itching to get back into it?
I'm enjoying it, but I'm also itching to get back to it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
it's
cool.
like, so because I have no control over it, I try to enjoy the time that I have off. For example, I got to go to a friend's wedding. Okay,
Amazing.
We never get to go do that kind of stuff, you know, because we're on the road all the time. So I got to go do that on Saturday, but really I'm itching to come back. But you know, I have no control over the matter, so I just have to accept what comes.
And what happened with the injury? Was it something that happened in a particular match, or was it something that had just been growing over the past few years?
It's been growing for probably a few years, but last year in July, maybe June, I had a match with Randy Orton on Raw, and I did a drop kick off the top, and when I landed, both my arms went numb. The left arm came back pretty quick, but the right arm stayed numb, and it was limp, and that's kind of what started this whole process. And after that, I had pain running down my arm for most of the rest of the year, but they said the pain wasn't really a problem, but when I started losing strength, it was. And about 10 days before they had me do the surgery, I went to open my car door, and we just have a Honda Fit. It doesn't even have automatic locks, but I just go to unlock it, and I couldn't unlock it because I didn't have enough strength in my arm. So that's when the doctors were like, okay, you need to get this surgery now.
And that match on Raw with Randy Orton, the dirt sheets I remember sort of went mad about that. Did you go backstage and have a go at Triple H for stopping the match? Is that a true story?
That is a true story, and so I don't know. Very few people have seen me angry, and like
I was quite surprised to hear it.
Yeah, but I was really angry about that, especially because. When they stopped the match, I'd never had a match stopped in my entire career. I detached my retina, I separated my shoulder 5 minutes into an hour-long match, and kept wrestling. And it's just one of those things. It's a point of pride for me, and it's a point of pride for most wrestlers. And part of the thing that was so upsetting to me was then when I come to the back and Triple H is telling me that we needed to stop it. And we're two grown men that both have a certain amount of pride. Yeah. But Triple H is somebody who wrestled through a torn quad. So like, don't tell me that, like, you know, because in my situation he would have been the exact same way. But I think that there's a respect there for that, and I also understand that in their position they have to protect their wrestlers, and so it's it's just one of those things where I was so angry, but I calmed down pretty quick. Like, I'm pretty.
I was going to say, for Triple H, when he injured himself in, I think it was 2002, he's obviously got his business head on now. Yeah. He's wearing the suit. I guess his perspective has changed maybe quite a lot.
Well, and it's a different world now than it was then. You know what I mean? Like, it's just an entirely different world as far as it being a giant corporation and all that kind of stuff. They really have to take care of talent, and it's a better world for us. Of course, yeah. As far as like we have. A doctor that travels with us, trainers that travel with us, with like all the stuff as far as the drug testing and everything goes. That's good for us. That's good for somebody like me who doesn't do drugs, and it's good for people who have problems so that those problems can be identified, And so, like all those things, I think are benefits to the performers.
Now, we spoke to you last in New Orleans. At about this time, it was like 5 in the morning in the Access, and you were saying you weren't really nervous about performing at WrestleMania. How was the event itself? Was it just dream come true, an incredible night?
Yeah, it was until the very end, and this is what happened. Okay, so here I am having the most incredible moment of my professional career. Here's 70,000 people all screaming yes, right? And I just like accomplished this dream, and I was just soaking it all in and just allowing myself to soak it all in, and you just get these tingling angles right. And then all of a sudden I look over to a producer, and a producer's going, keep yesing. And I have these 2 massive titles that are very heavy, and I'd already wrestled for like an hour that night. I was like, okay, yes, okay, that should be plenty, and now I'm back to enjoying it, and then keep yet. Oh, okay, yes, yeah, okay, certainly that's gotta be enough. Okay, yeah, thank you, everybody. Keep yesing still, more yesing. Okay, yeah, and so
those are heavy belts,
right? Yeah, and then. And so that was, that, and I wish Brie would have been able to come down to the ring with me, because she was standing in Gorilla, and she's like, can I come down? And they're like, no, and it's just like,
what was the reason for that? Do you know?
I don't know. I have no idea. It was never explained to me, and I don't know if it was ever explained to her, but it was just, I think, maybe just a gut reaction from people, but. Who knows, but that would have been a nice picture to have on the wall. Is me, Brie, my sister was in the ring, my little niece Hayden, and so that would have been a nice picture to have on the wall.
Can you use Photoshop?
I might be able to, yeah.
That should be easy enough.
Right, yeah.
We could probably do it for you. We'll send it to you so you can frame it and put it at home. Talking of your home, you were burgled recently.
Yeah.
And you restrained one of the guys until the police came.
Right.
What move did you put on him?
So I did a double leg and then had him in a rear naked choke. So it was.
He chose the wrong house, didn't he?
Well, and for multiple reasons, really. Not because of me, but my wife and I are minimalists. We don't have anything. So just imagine you go through all the hassle of breaking into a house, and then it's like, what the hell am I gonna grab at this place? It's like
some wood.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They grabbed it. So Nicole, Brie's sister, had got me this wooden watch box for my birthday, right? And in it were 2 wooden watches. These watches, brand new, are maybe $100, and one of them was broke. And so it's like, if you go to resell them, you're not going to get anything. But I think they were just looking for jewelry. But also in that box, my dad had just passed away, and he had left me this bracelet, and so that was in there, and they had grabbed that. But luckily, when we came home, they were on their way out, and then they ran out and they dropped the box. So I got the bracelet and all that kind of. They didn't get anything, and it was just like they must have been so disheartened.
What a waste of time!
Yeah, what a waste of time. Wait a second, this is like, because we live in not that it's a nice neighborhood, but it's it's an okay neighborhood, and so you'd think, oh, some of these wives certainly must have some fancy jewelry or something, No, like I don't know what she's wearing now, but it's free jewelry somebody gave her or something, and so it's like she has to give it back. So.
Yeah. Well, we're so sorry to hear about your father passing away. Obviously, it happened when you were on honeymoon, I believe.
No, it actually happened. So we got back from our honeymoon on the Saturday, and it happened on the Monday. Right. So it happened actually the day of Raw. So that was, it's just hard, and I think that's one of the things. It's no harder for me than it is for any other person whose father passes away, but it's just unexpected and sad. And like, the nice thing is when you try to look at these things and you look at them as far as like, okay, let's look at the positives. My dad got to see the Seahawks winning a Super Bowl in football for the United States. Like the Seahawks have never won anything, and so for him being a lifelong Seahawks fan, that was really cool. He got to see me main event WrestleMania. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to come to the wedding, but I had talked to him after the wedding, and I got to tell him about it and all that kind of stuff, and so he got to see a lot of those kind of things. He got to be Santa for my sister's daughters in December, and so it was, like when you look at the positive things, that sort of thing, it helps. So
it's really important to do that as well, I guess.
Yeah.
And I guess for you personally, you said you've used this time to be a bit reflective, and because I guess WWE is not the be-all end-all when it comes to it, and I guess this time off has given you a chance to reflect and.
Yeah, and so it's good too because I'm writing an autobiography. WWE,
awesome.
WWE approached me with writing an autobiography in like May before I got hurt.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, okay. I'd always thought I'd wait till after I was done wrestling to do something like this, but okay, I'll try it. But this has been a good time for that because it's allowed me to be, allowed me to look back and that kind of things, and it helps remembering the fond memories I have of my dad and other things. So it's been good.
Nice. And just finally, your return date, do you know? I've heard rumblings of Royal Rumble return. Is that likely?
It's impossible to tell because we don't know what's going on. Right. So, like, I was scheduled for a surgery for this coming Tuesday, but then
your second one hasn't happened yet.
My second one hasn't happened yet, and so they're debating as to whether or not I need it. And that's obviously I don't want to get surgery. Nobody wants to get surgery, but if we need to get surgery, we need to do it soon because that's a 3-month recovery period. So it's like it's one of those things where it's just kind of been frustrating for me, like not knowing. The not knowing is the hardest part. Do I need it? Do I not need it? Because, if I don't need it, who knows? Maybe I'll be back in like 2 months, If I do need it, it'll be at least 3. So that puts you around December-ish time, I would think. So.
And your dream match for when you return? What have you got in your head? What are you working out?
Oh, see, and that's the thing is that one of the things that kills me about this is if I were champion right now, I'd be wrestling Brock Lesnar, that's the match that I've really wanted.
Does that excite you?
Yeah, because I feel like we could do something completely different than people had really ever seen before in the United States. Yeah. And so that's the match that I really, really want. But yeah, I'm excited because since I've been gone, the Shield is broken up, and that gives you a lot of interesting possibilities for singles matches, as far as with Seth Rollins, with Dean Ambrose, with Roman Reigns. I want to do a pay-per-view match with Cesaro at one point, and so
yes, please.
Yeah, and so all that kind of stuff is really exciting and stuff to look forward to.
So many incredible young guys at the moment.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That to me, the future of WWE is looking very, very bright with a lot of these guys. Like, and it's cool because a lot of these guys too have been wrestling. I've been wrestling them for years. Like I wrestled Tyler Black for the first time in 2007. So it's which is Seth Rollins for people who don't know. So it's like it's really cool to see people grow and develop and become stars.
Awesome. And just very, very quickly, talk us through the fur on your boots at WrestleMania 30. Was that a throwback to your indie days?
No. What it was I thought, okay, I'm joining the Wyatts. I'm going all out, right? I was gonna that gear was my Wyatt gear.
No, WrestleMania 30. The fur on your boots.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't realize how short the Wyatt thing was going to be.
Right. Okay.
So Jill Thompson, who designs my gear, I said, okay, I just joined the Wyatts. I want some Wyatt gear. What would be good? And I was thinking like Bruiser Brody, but a modern Bruiser Brody that's kind of what I was thinking. Oh, this is going to be awesome. Well, then I was only in the Wyatts for 2 weeks, and then I was like, well. Okay, well, I got the gear made, and then when I saw it, I was like, I love this. And it came with a fur vest.
Yeah.
But the vest was a little too – would have been great if I was with the Wyatts, but outside of the Wyatts, it just didn't work. So, yeah, I was like, I loved it. Just because it was very reminiscent of Bruiser Brody, and that's kind of what I was going for.